You know, I got a few days off work here and I'm wondering, like, what the hell should I work on? Maybe the twin turbo Adii? No, that's way too whistly. What about the V8 swap Suzuki Sidekick? I think that's a little too sketchy. What about the diesel swap Toyota T100? No, I think that's way too practical. The Elcamrino? Now that's what I'm talking about.
Hold on a second. The story doesn't start here. We have to go all the way back to almost a year and a half ago.
You know, Toyota pickups are really expensive these days. You just can't afford them. Especially not in Canada with this communist government. So, we're gonna make our own. Go for it. They're not playing nice. They don't want to leave their home.
Well, boys, now we got a truck. Never before. Elcamrino.
It now identifies as a Toyota Tacoma. And you can't argue against that. It's 2023. Now I know what you may be thinking.
What the hell is even that?
This thing's got a good title. I mean, you're going to see this thing on the highway. We're hoping. Gas is getting expensive. Don't judge us. Okay? Just because his Camry identifies as something else doesn't mean we do, alright? You want to talk about jumping a gap? It took me like an hour to do the other side, and it was still looking like garbage. I don't know if that insults me or makes this a big job. I think it does both. Yeah, this side's going like 4 times faster. Because what took me so long is the other side is you're trying to follow that metal back as it's melting. Even on the lowest heat setting, this is like a little pop tin, right? A little Toyota metal. So if you weld like this, you weld right on the seam there, because there's enough metal that you won't burn through. You just weld her up like that, and now it's just welded normal now. There she goes.
That's all, folks. We should just start it and rev it.
Let it cool off, it might fire back up. She's not gonna fire back up. She's seized. Now you may be thinking, why build a limited edition Toyota Tacoma, super rare, that has a motor that in such poor shape that it locked up after like half a kilometer of driving? Well, you see, this thing was bagged. So now, we're crazy enough to try and get a motor for this $50 car.
Many months later.
Got the Elcamrino back in the shop. Motor's on its way to coming out. But you look at this BS, alright? We got her almost pulled out, and then the thing decides to unseize itself. Oh. There you go, motor's out. We got the Camry put back where it needs to be. Hoping that next weekend we can get the good motor out of the van and then put that back into the Camry. Well, now that you're all caught up on the origin story of this junker, I can press play and let you watch the rest. All right.
So now we got ourselves a healthy engine for the Camry. Just gotta tear into it.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
I'm about a little ways a long ways tore into her now. I got motor mounts, CV axles, power steering, a few little stuff like that left. Man, it's a pain with this like overhang here. The Camry chassis is so much easier than the vans, but I'll keep plugging away. Should have her out hopefully tonight, maybe not. I would love to have known about that a couple hours sooner. It would have been making that intake coming off so much easier. Old plastic comes off. Now look at that space. Alright, so as it turns out, the CV axles on this thing are an absolute pain. I can't get this one out, which is the easy one. The one over here, on that side, it's got a bearing here, and it goes still all the way to the trans, and that bearing's known for being super stuck and not wanting to move. So, my solution is, of course, acetylene. So, I had to lift the whole entire car with the jack, move it so it's not on the oil puddle. Now I'll torch that out, hopefully not burn the shop down, and then I can pull the motor out. Oh, she's on fire, but not too bad. I can roast hot dogs on this one. Come on. There we go. It's time for the safety bucket. So I'd taken all of this stuff. You stupid little So I'd taken all of this stuff out here. And now we're hitting this mount over here. But good thing I don't care about this van because I'm just going to cut that off. Yes sirree, she's free. Now all the pieces that weren't needed are thrown back on the van, and the van can go be parked in the corner.
Later that same evening.
Just towing this one-of-a-kind machine back to the shop. Get that motor set in, hopefully tomorrow. Motor's all ready to go in. Got the engine bay all prepped now. Just got to set her down and bolt it up. So it was contacting here, here, and here, like all this area. That's probably out of the way enough, but it's probably going to leak now. But I got a solution for every single leak you could ever imagine. Silicone was one of the best inventions, along with zip ties and self-tappers and all those great things. Then the other one has a different EGR, so we're going to have to block off this one's EGR, which just happens to be my favorite thing to do. Stupid emission systems. And then this intake should work on with the VVV.
I never learned my alphabet from A to Z.
The vvti valve covers. Now what most people would do when they do an EGR delete is that they'd make a beautiful little block off plate and everything and take their time. Me, I'm just gonna weld that right there. Good enough. Nobody's gonna see that down there anyways. I think that VVTi is gonna be a little confused though, because it doesn't have a computer to control it. So when we pulled this thing apart, we didn't actually take any pictures. So I've just kind of been guessing and putting hoses where they look like they want to go. We'll see if I get it right. Come on. Please. Nothing at all? Nothing at all, really? Why?
Why? Why? Why? Why?
Why is it not running? Well, I'll tell you why. And this might be a little boring and long, but here is the story. We put the VVTi motor in non-VVTi car, non-VVTi computer. It doesn't know what's going on, right? So we think it's the timing. And we did a lot of work with the camshaft. We've had the camshaft in and out now, messing around with it about 13 times, and we've discovered the best tool for removing it is the hammer. Just go like this, very gentle. It's not wrecking anything. See how it's free now? It's good to go. Pull it out, do your adjustment. So we were rotating the camshaft, thinking that the VVTi had thrown the timing gear out, which it actually can do, and that wasn't fixing our problem. So it turns out the sensor for the spark is normally about right here above the exhaust manifold on the non-VVTi. The sensor is over here on the VVTi motor, and it's timed off the intake cam instead of the exhaust cam. So the difference there is the intake cam can turn with the VVTi, and it's just timed differently. So figured that out, and we're like, okay, what are we gonna do? So what we did is we took the little lever on the back of the timing. I don't know if I have a picture of it here. I'll put it on the screen if I do. And it's just a thing that goes past the sensor at the right time to start the firing sequence. And I turned it until the thing ran, and then tested a bit and got her fine-tuned. Was going to give it a little tack weld, but it seems like it's going to hold good. I completely forgot if I've mentioned in the video, but this is my friend's car. So now that the motor is running good, and we don't have to worry about that, it's on to the fun stuff. Like you see the 77 is gone from the Derby thing, and all the red paint, and he had quite the brilliant idea of taking a headache rack, and this one's actually off the Ford Ranger that was in this video where it got jumped, cut her back, and it actually sits really nice on the little chop here. And this also tells us that the box size of this cut Camry is the same as the Ford Ranger box. And sure enough, the one night I put my quad in the back just for fun. Yeah, things fit in there. Anyways, he built the majority of the back wall already. A little bit of Lexan and metal and plywood. Now today is about December 8th, I'd say, and his goal is to have this thing ready for Christmas so he can drive it on the road. I hope he does it. It's going to be super fun to see this thing go down Main Street. I think really the headache rack, it makes it look like a truck. You stand back here, of course it looks goofy, but the headache rack just ties it all together. I'll probably do a YouTube short on it once it's done, or if it's interesting enough, I'll do a whole video. We'll see. And as always, thanks for watching. Are you kidding me? I just put how much time...